You're listening to a podcast on the Podfix Network.
All right, welcome to Little Bits and Pieces with us, Walrus. I am one of your hosts, Matt Walker.
I'm Christian Torres.
I guess I'm Geoff Fella today.
Oh my God. Look, I know it's supposed to be seamless no matter what for the listeners, but we just nailed it. I don't have to edit that at all.
I think that was the first time we ever said all of our names without large gaps or talking over one another.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit.
I'm glad you're happy. The number of sacrifices I've had to make to get to this point.
Such as?
I don't sleep. I don't eat.
No?
I peaked in high school.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
Huh. Well, so those are sacrifices that you made in order to say your name at a reasonable juncture and with Christians?
Yeah, yes.
Wow.
I think that's worth
awesome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's paid off.
No, you're supposed to feel bad for me.
No.
It's like
you're
it's
like
good.
Jesus. I don't feel
glad
bad.
we figured out the recipe.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah. You just need to work harder.
Wait, hold on. When did
I'm
you
sorry,
guys?
did you say you don't feel bad for Jesus?
I don't feel bad for Jesus. Jesus knew what he was doing the whole time. He's like, I'm the Son of God. When I die, I'm literally going up to heaven, and everyone will pray to me. It'll be dope.
Well,
everyone will eat my body and
that
blood
would mean that it wasn't a big deal that like that, right?
I mean, one could argue that it wasn't a big deal if he knew it was going to happen and still went through with it. I mean, but because then it's what he wanted. But so it's like consent.
No, but it's an ethical parody, right?
Because this is the Easter episode, I believe, mathematically, where
true.
this lines up. Maybe we should dial back the blasphemy.
He wouldn't be like the sacrifice is necessary in its relationship to his acceptance into heaven, although I guess he's the Son of God, so it's kind of a given.
But if he knew he was coming back, it's like, is it a sacrifice or is it just like a vacation?
That's like no, this is
He said, hey Pops, I would like to live in a cave for 3 days.
It's similar to Kierkegaard's leap of faith.
Well, because he didn't even live in the cave for 3 days. He was dead in the cave for 3 days. So
actually,
it's not
you know
like
was he in heaven for those 3 days?
You guys don't know what you're talking about. For my philosophical listeners out there, I take it back. It's really not like Kierkegaard's leap of faith, because if Jesus is supposed to be, the Son of God, then he doesn't really experience existentialism in the human sense. Although I guess, I don't know, because he's supposed to be fully human, right? So he still does experience, because he does experience.
But, wow, he had
powers,
Geoff?
No, this is I've for those of you who don't know, Matt and Christian have been they're avid Moonies. They've been trying to convert me for a number of years now, and I've said no. I've read over the brochures.
We can see the moon. That's exactly what I was going to say. You can see the man.
The other group, the other Moonies, are probably not too happy that you guys started calling yourself Moonies, if I had to guess.
We believe in the moon. And we believe in the moon. I'm sorry, that's a controversial opinion nowadays.
It's not. I think you guys are in the clear. It's just the fact that you share the name with the very controversial.
Well, I mean, look at the people that believe in the sun, the Sunnis. Look, they're all right.
Again, I think there's a similar issue, and I think they are actually in an ongoing legal battle, if I remember correctly.
Well, I would love to see a trial between people that believe in the sun and a sect of Islam.
So everybody versus a pretty big amount of people still.
Yeah, and they wrap it up or whatever, and then it'll be like, all right, next case.
Agree to disagree.
This is the Shiites versus the Shittites. This is another sect of Islam and people that believe in fecal matter.
Sorry, I can dunk on Christianity, but I'm not gonna wade in on that one and risk getting canceled.
Yeah, They have a bad track record of being made fun of overreacting, let's just say. Yeah. Anyway, today, believe it or not, we wanted to talk about expertise in improv. So you guys have all, if you've done improv before, heard the phrase, yeah, this isn't a phrase. You're the expert.
Yes, I have heard this several times, in fact.
So anyone listening, if you've ever done improv, you've 100% heard the phrase, you're the expert.
No, what is the phrase that I'm looking for?
It's play to the top of your intelligence?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Yes. Yes. I didn't phrase that well when I told you that's what we were talking about.
Walking into an improv one, your first day. Hey, just so you know, you're the expert.
Yes. Playing to the top of your intelligence, which basically means whenever you're doing improv, you know as much as you know. It's never like you never enter a scene and go, someone goes, what's 2 + 2? And you go, duh, I don't know. And it's like, yeah, you do. Say what you know, bro.
What if you're playing big dummies?
If you're playing big dummies, at least you're aware of what you know. So you know that when someone goes, what's 2 + 2? And you say, you know what would be a big dummy thing to say? 3. Because I know the answer is 4. Right? And I know you do that all the time.
Well, that is Geoff playing to the top of his intelligence.
Okay. I see I was trying to open up the way for me.
I mean, you're the one who started by
and I feel like I was overtaken on the road here a little bit.
Kierkegaard's BS, and then you're like, actually, never mind. That's not what it is. I'm sorry, threw yourself under the bus.
You've never read Fear and Trembling
This is
Las
a good
Vegas?
It is a good example, though, sort of what we're talking about, whereas that Geoff comes from a philosophy background. He knows things like Kierkegaard. You know that, so you use...
Kierkegaard's a man, not a thing.
Aren't people things?
You're thinking of Ikea furniture.
No, I'm thinking of people. I think of people as objects.
No, I just set up my Kierkegaard bookcase.
Oh yeah, the
and it's funny because he has Fear and Trembling in Las Vegas on it right now, so it's kind of it's almost Kafka-esque.
Yeah.
Which you can also get at Ikea.
Yeah, exactly. It goes really well.
It's a
with
grotesque piece of furniture. It's really not good looking at all.
But it's easy to change. It's very modular.
It's really short,
metamorphic.
Too. It's a really short read. You get it done in like an hour.
Oh my god, this is so dumb. We could just this is too dumb. Too dumb.
Too dumb. But like but all good examples though of things that we know about in real life, expertise that we're bringing in, that things that we use. It's like you have to. You have to use the whole animal, the whole beast, the whole of you when you're performing. Use all of your skills combined.
What animal are you?
What animal am I? I'm a human, Geoff.
I'm sorry. I thought humans were things, but now they're animals. What's next?
Animals
Christian?
are things.
Animals are things.
I think you're thinking of Danimals.
Did you guys? Do you remember that sweepstakes for Danimals had, where you could get to meet Zach and Cody on board the cruise ship?
Now this is the top of Christian's intelligence that you're seeing here. And
you're seeing a lot of Disney Channel original series knowledge that Christian is dropping here.
It informs a lot of scene work, and I think it offers a very large landing pad, because usually when you're in a scene and you hear a really obscure reference to a Disney Channel original, there's so much you can do.
Damn, that's a man.
Well, sure, yeah, but you also think, as an improviser and not as a horn dog, you're just like, oh my God, there's so much I can do with that. And then your mind just goes to all these places like Zach and Cody. And then you start thinking like,
Cody and Zach,
Zodiac Killer. And slowly you start formulating the scene.
Was that intentional, you think? You think that was the intent?
From you? You're the one who's playing it.
From the makers of Zach and Cody. Do you think they meant it to be like Zodiac?
You mean like the Zodiac Killer got a job as a producer, eventually made his way through Hollywood and made Zach and Cody to continue hiding
don't know
clues.
who he is. So.
Yeah, and he
I
made
thought we
those,
found out,
or she.
He made those ciphers.
Was it
and
Ted
like
Cruz
maybe,
or something? Or?
Yeah, it's Ted Cruz. It's Ted Cruz and the guy from The Office. No, it's he got tired of making ciphers, so he thought I'll make a Disney Channel original show that actually decoded has the phrase "I am the Zodiac Killer,"
like fucking
involved.
Voldemort.
I think
he just like rearrange the letters
in a very roundabout way. This is probably a good example of us playing to the height of our intelligence.
Yeah. Because I always feel like this has been brought up to me recently. I told you guys right before it, but people are like, I could never do improv. And I'm like, actually, once you learn a bunch of the stuff, it's pretty formulaic and the magic kind of goes away. And they were like, no. Everybody just seems to know so much.
right.
And I was like, well,
does the magic sort of just peter out and you're left as like a soulless husk or something along those lines?
You kind of got stuck on the magic because you don't experience it, do you?
Isn't the joke here that none of us do anymore?
I totally get what you're saying, though, Matt. I run into that a lot. Whenever you get like a suggestion from the audience that is like a specific reference, I do see a lot of like newer improvisers really shy away from it. Like anytime like you say like Star Wars or something, and you get a lot of people on on stage will be like, I've never seen a Star Wars, I don't know what, and they kind of refuse to do a scene about it rather than just like what you really should do is if you've never seen anything, you just like use it in a different way or acknowledge that you've never seen a bunch of different ways to handle it, but it's like you don't need to act like things that you don't know. You just need to be you know. You're not trying to be another version of
the key.
Somebody else, because intelligence it's being the most intelligent version of yourself.
It is pretty disappointing. Like someone starts, Star Wars is just a really perfect example for some reason.
Yes.
If you see a scene and everyone is like, they don't really know Star Wars, but they're really phoning in that they don't know Star Wars. Right. And I guess that can be a game, you can play with that. From my perspective, though, I typically find that stuff to be pretty uninteresting because it's like, I would much rather you see just make up characters and act like you do know and just tell people. There's a really good rule that I remember hearing ages ago. I think this was during winter term in Ecker. This might have been Elie Wiesel. Dr. Elie Wiesel told me this one, that if you say it 3 times in a scene, in an improv scene, that makes it true. But I think there's some truth to that. If you say something 3 times, like your audience is much more receptive to be like, the first time they're gonna be like, what? The second time they might be like, okay. And then the third time they're like, yeah, we buy into that's now fastest universe. So if I tell you I am, the Star Warrior, Zorblax in Star Wars, and I say that 3 times, eventually you're like, yeah, Zorblax, I remember him from, Revenge of the Sith. He's in the background there, I swear, he was friends with Anakin or something like that.
It's important because people forget that it's play to the top of your intelligence and not play to the top of everybody else's intelligence. So we've had people straight up in practices specifically, when someone literally says Star Wars, they go, I don't know anything about Star Wars. I can't do it. Like
except
literally
Zorblax.
verbatim. And then
most people know Zorblax.
Yeah, everybody knows Zorblax.
Zorblax, it's common.
I mean, he spans all of the sci-fi
it's like pop
genre.
Cultural osmosis.
Because he was on Star Trek too. He was on.
What's this guy doing here?
Yeah.
Babylon
he was
5.
also in like SVU. Like he actually tied together all these different properties in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
His most interesting role to date is definitely Ice Age.
Yeah. But
he was the one who finally helped the squirrel get the nut. Anyway. But like you said, it is like playing to the top of your intelligence.
Because people get they shut down because they think, if I say something that's not true, everyone in the audience that does know will hate my guts.
Right.
And despise who I am. But because of the art form, everybody knows that it's like, if you tell me Star Wars or tell me something I don't know, like I don't know shit about Star Trek.
Right.
But I do know that they're in space.
Zorblax.
And they're on the Enterprise.
Right.
And Picard and William Shatner are on it.
And who else, Matt?
I'm sure
say his name.
And Zorblax. Zorblax, I thinks.
That's that's how he sounds. That's a really good Zorblax impression.
Thank you.
That was pretty good, I gotta admit.
Zorblax, I think's mates with Picard in one episode.
Yeah.
A big storyline.
Well, that was
like
the one that didn't air in certain countries. Yeah.
Yeah, they only
because
aired
of copyright law.
Exactly.
Not the reason you think. Actually,
in China, doesn't the government technically own Zorblax?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's why he's on the flag.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you just have to apply heat to the flag, and it will appear. It's a boiling situation.
Yeah, lemon juice. If you put lemon juice on any flag, it does not matter. If you put lemon juice
on it. Oh yeah, and his big rump.
Okay, that's a little blue.
He's got a big rump.
Sure, but it's a little blue. It's a little blue.
Well, I know, but that's how you know it's Zorblax.
As opposed to his brothers or Snacks, who just brings the snacks.
He's on one show, and he barely is on.
Yeah, he's like the Scrappy Doo of Zorblax. Didn't really catch on.
But I feel like this is why people that don't know what improvisers do, they see us talking about this and they go, "Oh wow, Zorblax, is that really true?" And you go, "No," and they're like, "Oh, you don't know a lot of things."
It is a lot of You kind of have to play the con man, and I think a lot of our stuff essentially revolves around the fact that we're like one of us comes in with a really dumb con, and the rest of us are like, "That's a dumb con," I think a lot of our scenes kind of follow that.
Yeah. And we either jump in and we're like, dumb con,
or shut it down with prejudice. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it's like one of the things, I think one of the biggest notes you hear as a repeated thing with improv is always like, consume other things, read books, watch different things, go to things, have different experience, so that you just have so much more to pull from and so much more, differing things to do. I will say, like, to play somewhat devil's advocate, I do think amongst improvisers, maybe more newer improvisers, I think there is this tendency to like the types of references that are being made all revolve around very similar things, and so other types of knowledge bases can be like disrespected, it's right, because there are to be fair to the improvisers who don't want to get Star Wars wrong, it's like there are people who will who will harass them for not knowing what Star Wars is.
It is easy to get
usually online,
but there's I think it's easy to get kind of a bullying, not bullying, but and I think you're also right about it depends on the knowledge base. You come in with like, you're ready to throw down. No, maybe not. Because I was going to say you're ready to throw down with like knowledge of some obscure Disney Channel show. But from what my experience is, usually then your supporting partners are really into that. So
no, yeah, I just think it's about being open to all different sorts of expertise. So it's not always just making like the Star Wars reference, because I own that one just because it comes up literally so often.
So I'm curious. Well, I just want to say, because we've established Christian's expertise largely revolves around Disney Channel programming. So, Matt, what would you call your expertise? What are you an expert in?
Bric-a-brac.
Yeah. Okay.
I will tell you a lot of things about. I don't know.
Well, it does say that on the website, a deep-seated understanding of bric-a-brac.
Give me one fact.
A conceptual understanding of bric-a-brac.
One fact
about bric-a-brac.
A
bric-a-brac fact. A bric-a-fact.
I guess. What is I thought bric-a-brac just meant miscellaneous, basically.
I thought that meant
it's miscellaneous stuff.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's like
this isn't my expertise.
Bric-a-brac is tchotchkes. An idea cannot be. I mean, it could metaphorically. You could be like, bric-a-brac. I got bric-a-brac in my mind.
Well,
I wouldn't say that because
it is unto bric-a-brac to me. It is like bric-a-brac.
Kind of what I meant, but I didn't want to use the word miscellaneous.
Miscellanea is the noun.
Say hodgepodge. You can say it potpourri.
I wanted to use a funnier word like bric-a-brac.
Potpourri for 200.
Potpourri, yeah.
To say you're an expert on hodgepodge would mean you're an expert on things that are hodgepodges.
Yeah, no, Mod Podge. I'm an expert on Mod Podge.
That's hodgepodge, but it's all about mod. culture.
Yeah.
Is that sounds like a really bad podcast.
We are Mod Pods. Today's episode
is about
hats.
whatever.
So, the classical Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi actually has a really good thing on this, where he talks about how you can never know everything. That knowledge is unlimited.
But then, was it Aristotle or Plato or Socrates that said
Go ahead, name some more.
I know everything because I know what I don't know?
I believe it was Sherlock Holmes who said that my mind is like an attic, so sometimes I gotta get rid of shit to fill it with more shit.
He said it just like that?
Yeah.
Huh. You know what I mean, Watson?
Man, I gotta it's public domain. We should write a Sherlock Holmes story.
I'm good.
I don't know, man. It's popular.
Yeah, that'd be funny to put him in modern circumstances. I would love to see like Sherlock Holmes goes to the supermarket. Like it's not even like a mystery.
It's not a mystery.
But he treats it like it's a mystery. Like imagine him at an improv show.
Does he have like a problem where he can't, like he sees everything through that lens?
Yeah. He goes to a magic show and he's like, he's like, well, it's elementary, my dear Watson. The woman wasn't in the box to begin with. The magician's like, what the fuck? Okay.
Man.
Does he announce it to everybody in the audience?
Well, yeah, he's a dick. Yeah, what an asshole. Ruins trick.
Just walks on stage.
Mm.
Yeah.
You guys ever do magic?
Yeah. Wait, is everything Sherlock Holmes deduces, is it always correct?
For the most part.
I'm sure Moriarty gives him the most trouble, though.
So, no, but like he could come out and like, if he's like, yeah, the Earth is flat.
Well, he's not. He's not omnipotent. No, he's just a smart dude. Well, my biggest problem with the lore of Sherlock Holmes has always been that it really doesn't translate well to the modern age, because it's like so much of it relies upon a class, sort of, and people bending over backwards to fit into class structures of England in the 1800s. Like his deductions are very much like based on
right,
stereotypes.
Yeah.
A low class guy would never be in this room.
Yeah,
He's
honestly, that is kind of half of it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what's so. Maybe we're not willing to accept that reality.
Yeah,
that class can define us entirely.
Wow.
Well, because it's always just wild when you watch the newer ones, and it's like, ooh, they have he has pants or fur on his pants. He must have a dog, and it's like, well, there's thousands of explanations for that, millions of explanations.
Name another one.
This man, he owns a cat.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point.
Okay.
I do love the idea that Watson always brings up these very obvious things. He's like, well, it could be a cat, Sherlock. And he's like, shut
Fuck
up.
off.
Yeah. Shut up, Watson.
What would be an example today? Like these tire tracks belong to.
Today it would be like, well, Watson, the DNA matches. Therefore,
we're just going to solve a crime like normal people solve crimes.
The fingerprints matched the one in the database. It was him.
Well, he sort of did some of that stuff in the old stories before that was like commonplace. He did do some science and some medical examination stuff.
He's he's essentially a bounty hunter, no? Well, I guess he's a private detective.
I guess he is,
No, but it's more private.
He's a consulting detective, yeah.
He can't arrest people, right?
No, not officially. But
and plus, bounty hunters they don't solve mysteries. They just find the guy.
They capture people who are out on bail.
But he can fight. He can fight people, though. He knows how to fight. He's like a trained martial
arrest
artist.
Anyone, right?
I love the idea that every case that he is on is because someone didn't pay their bail or show up for their court date.
That would be an amazing. I want to see another modern reboot of Sherlock Holmes where he's just a bounty hunter. It's way lower class.
Oh, I love that. Dog the bounty hunter, but it's Sherlock.
What do you think about underestimating the audience's intelligence?
I like to assume they know everything I'm talking about, because more often than not, at least one person there does. And everybody else thinks we're just making it up anyway. So.
Yeah, it can be very satisfying to hear like one laugh in an audience of like recognition of like that person got what I was putting down. I will admit that I have a penchant. I am bad about. I will explain my jokes to the audience because I think it's funny sometimes.
I've seen this.
I think it works most of the time when you do it.
Which it's like I think I tend to agree with you that I think it's better form, like it's better practices to trust your audience. But sometimes I just really get a kick out of going, this is in reference to this thing because I'm insecure about my intelligence and I want you to know that I know things.
Right.
I usually only get the solo laugh when it's my wife.
Okay, brag.
And right.
Wait, what?
The solo laugh that you said when it's one person in the audience and you're like, that guy gets laughing? It. That's usually the only time
I see.
that I get that like one laugh. And it's never.
You want me to feel bad for you that you have a wife that finds you funny? Is that am I supposed to have sympathy for?
No, it's laughing at me. So a lot of people don't see this, but like after the show, it's like I high five everyone and then I kind of walk off stage and she's like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't. She's like, no, you're sorry, doesn't cut it.
Sorry, won't cut it this time.
Yeah.
No,
you know what I've been doing post shows as a bit that I've really enjoyed doing now and a lot of times is doing the good game thing that you do in T-Ball at the end of an improv show when you walk off and you go like, good game.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do people do it back, or are you just hunting for that high five? And
for me,
is it? No, I mean like do you high five the other improvisers in the show or the entire audience?
Or just anyone you can find.
The other improvisers in the show.
Oh, okay. No, that makes.
I think it was in a show.
Crazy.
It was in a show I wasn't in, and so I did it for the people who were coming off stage.
I mean, it's better than like saying GGHF or whatever.
Okay, I said that once. It's not that weird.
Yeah, but you're dyslexic, so you said GFGH.
GFGH.
Girlfriend, go home.
It's actually pretty good. That was quick.
That was a good pull out of nowhere.
Hey, I guess it's like I do improv or something.
Sure.
Yeah, I have an expertise in it, I would say.
Well, you guys do consider me an improviser as well, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure is a great way to describe it.
If I wasn't here, would you say to each other, Geoff, the improviser?
Yeah, that is your title, like Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
I actually don't know your last name, which is embarrassing. I just know you Geoff the Improviser.
I keep calling you like Geoff Person, Geoff Guy.
Do you do that with other people you don't know their last name?
Do
you know everybody's last name except mine?
Yeah.
Everyone.
That's called the height of his intelligence. Obviously, so for those of you at home and listening, Matt obviously doesn't actually know the last name of everyone in the world, but he could say he does. And who could ever fact check that?
No, he does. He has Shinigami eyes, so he can see people's personal details.
I've never played that game, but
I don't know what that means. What game is that?
So this is us playing to the bottom of our intelligence.
Death Wish? No, what's the one where Death Note? What's the one where he writes in a book and people die?
That's Death.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
The monster's called a Shinigami.
I think, there's this thing where it's like if you can make a bargain with them, you can get special eyes that'll tell that when you look at someone, you'll see like their name and when they die.
What does Zorblax do in that show?
You write their name down and it kills them.
That's part of it. There's a lot of rules in Death Note.
So wait, if you see when they can die, then you know whether or not you're going to write their name in the book.
Well, no, because like if you can, or maybe you don't see when they die. No, I think you do see when they die, but you can also just accelerate that and write their name in the Death Note and they die. Because the thing is to write someone's name in the Death Note, right? You need to know their full name, and so if you don't know their full name and what they look like, you can't kill somebody. And if you misspell their name 3 times, it doesn't work. And
wait, if you misspell it 3 times?
Yeah. Every episode of Death Note has like these title cards in the edits where they give other rules to the Death Note. Because it has a bunch of rules. Most of them don't ever come into effect. They're not relevant to the show.
And it's like if you write with a different hand,
that might be one of them.
I
think
positive it is.
That's Matt playing to the top of his intelligence despite never seeing the show.
It's actually better than it's good. It's actually pretty good.
I've heard it. I've watched one episode. It was a lot of the main character just thinking thoughts aloud to himself. And
yeah,
it was
that's the
kind
show.
of annoying.
That's the show.
He's like, Gerald might know that I'm the one doing this, but I can't kill Gerald because then Claire will know that it was me because I thought that it might be Gerald.
Yeah, it's the show.
And then the whole show goes by and he writes a name down at the end and you're like, oh, I don't know what happened.
It gets
boring.
No, it gets pretty exciting
boring.
When Zorblax comes into the show.
Yeah.
It gets a lot better. You just have to wait.
Yeah, it does come good. Yeah.
Well, what a good callback to end the episode on. Thank you guys for listening. As always, give us a good old rate and review. Christian will say that at the end of the episode too. And check us out at Nitro Theater up in Orlando. And what's up, Geoff? What do you have?
I just wanted to quick ask, what do minions say?
Oh, let me think for a second. Maybe you can help me out on this one, Christian.
Yeah, I think minions say banana, but I can't remember for how long they've been saying it, though. I feel like they've been saying it for a long time.
Minions say banana, maybe since 2010.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Well, if that's true, that ought to go on a T-shirt.
Well, it just might.
This is not an announcement that...
Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled like bananas.
Which minions say... For that merch, check out the merch store.
Check out the merch store when it's available.
We have a merch store, right? I'm assuming it's
no.
Yeah,
we do not have one, but when we do,
we will
coming.
though. We
Check
will,
it out.
And make sure to rate and review. That
you say that later anyway, Christian.
Oh, I thought you were just like setting up a prophecy that I had to fulfill now.
No, remember we recorded the outro and you say
Oh, gotcha.
So
I think most listeners don't know that that's pre-recorded. You're kind of ruining the illusion.
What? I don't know. He says it the exact same every time.
That I just wait 30 seconds of silence and then
Yeah, we do weird stuff all the time.
Well, no, it's pre-recorded. Do all the things that he says and
do everything that I say.
Everything.
And come check us out at Nitro. That's a good call. Nitro Theater.
Fridays for the next month.
Here in Orlando. Although by the time this episode comes out, will be what?
Today. So
you have...
Oh shit, this is the most timely episode. Is there anything happening today that we should address?
I mean, there's not that we should address.
Well, tomorrow's the 31st of March, so that's fun and
make
exciting.
Make sure to pay your rent.
Get a little nest egg on the side. Make sure that nest egg's being properly taken care of.
And for those who want help managing that nest egg, yes, Walrus still has financial services. We are ready.
Check out in the merch store.
It is in the merch store. You
financial services.
Send a PayPal payment.
Menu.
Yeah, we have estate planning. We have tax evasion.
T-shirts. We have bobbleheads. We have money laundering.
Yeah, we have the bad financial planning stuff.
But like Michael Jackson bad.
Yeah, grr.
Okay. It's not really like grr. It's more like...
All right.
It's like, yeah.
All right, Cowboys.
Well, bye, Cowboys.
Y'all giddy up.
Like, yeah.
Love you, Cowboys.
It's like, yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Christian Torres from Walrus. If you're interested in supporting this show, the best thing that you can do is rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to check out walrus.com, that's WALLARES, for a full list of our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned for news about any live shows that we may have, and new episodes of Little Bits and Pieces come out every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
The show you've just listened to is a part of the Podfix Network. To listen to other shows on the network, head over to podfixnetwork.com, follow on Twitter @Podfix, and join the Podfix Nation at facebook.com/Podfix.